Trojan Talk with Trey Schaap on the Little Rock Trojans Radio Network. Tune in for all the Little Rock Trojans news, recaps, and updates. This broadcast is brought to you by Dillard's, Stevens, and Pepsi. Now, here's your host, Trey Schaap.
And welcome into Waldo's Chicken and Beer here in West Little Rock, Breckenridge Village. Another edition of Trojan Talk after last week having to go back to the Jack Stevens Center because of the weather. We are live at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Looking forward to another great episode. We've got a lot to do tonight. We're going to talk with Steve Weedor, head basketball coach of your Little Rock Trojans. And then, for those of you that don't know, it's Hall of Fame weekend in Little Rock. The Jack Stevens Center on Friday will host the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and we have two of the inductees that are going into the Hall of Fame tonight. Dr. Mel Collazo, who played tennis at UALR back in the day. Little Rock is going into the Hall of Fame. He'll join us tonight. And then some guy, coach, that won like 1,000 games coaching basketball, women's basketball. I mean, the court's named after him, but, yeah, now he's going in the Hall of Fame. How about that?
I can't believe you got him out here tonight on this cold night.
It's actually warmed up. It's my understanding, hey, for a guy that likes to get out and play in the snow and ice, I remember one time we were on the bus getting ready to go somewhere, and he's doing donuts in the parking lot with his four-wheel drive truck. He got stuck for 4 days in this stuff.
Yeah, but he's from Harrison, so I know he's used to the snow, and he's able to get out there and do that.
But he didn't get out this time. That's what I don't understand. Now that he's not coaching, he decided, I think I'm just going to stay at home.
It was a little more ice this time.
Maybe Chris was cooking for him while he was home, or she wasn't even probably there. She was up in Harrison. He just decided to stay home. I wonder who cooked for him. Coach, let's talk about the road trip. We're still in the middle of the road trip, believe it or not. We lost to SEMO on a Thursday, came back because the game that we were supposed to play that Saturday at UT Martin got postponed until tomorrow. Then we went back on the road last week, went to Nashville and took on Tennessee State first up, and it was a nice win over the Tigers of Tennessee State, 60-54, a very tough place to play in the Gentry Center there in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely knew coming in that it was going to be a tough game, and we always struggle there. I mean, as far as they've got a team that can beat anybody and very athletic, and we knew it was going to be a battle, and I thought the girls executed really well, and we were able to pull out the win there, and it was a big win for us. And, they definitely understood the game plan, and we got things done that we needed to do to get that win that night.
Yeah, in the third period, you outscore them 21-12 and then outscore them 17-14 in the fourth period. I thought the defense really came on in that second half, the second 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think they really executed what we was trying to do on defense and got a lot of big stops. And, we just knew that they were going to come out and give us their best effort. I mean, they'd been off for a while, and they knew they were going to come out and play hard, and we were able to get the win. It was a big win for us.
Tennessee State did score 12 points in that third period. You held them to just 2 of 17 from the floor. They were 8 of 8 at the free throw line, but 2 of 17 from the floor, 11.7% shooting. That tells me that the defense was there.
Yeah, our defense was solid and definitely gave us a chance, and that's what we've been preaching to them all the time. If you'll play good defense, you'll make your free throws, and you won't turn it over on the road, you give yourself a chance.
What's a good percentage that you would like to see that your teams hold a team to shooting-wise?
I mean, if you can hold somebody, around 30%, somewhere in that neighborhood, I think you got a chance, and that's definitely what, we try to do.
Well, they were 25% in the fourth period, so I think it worked. Then they didn't go to the foul line in the fourth period, too. I think that's the key, is the fact that we quit fouling so much and sending them to the line to where they could get easy points.
Right. You got to keep them off the foul line, and we definitely did that night, and that made a big difference.
And then we had to Tennessee Tech. We were leading after the first period, 11-9, and then the Golden Eagles just put it on us. 16-8 in the second period, 20-9 in the third, 27-19 in the fourth. They won at 72-47. We talked last Monday about how difficult the Eblin Center is to play in. For those that don't realize, you dress in a totally different building than what you're playing in, and as cold as it was, ladies had to get into their shorts, their uniform and everything, and then walk over quickly in the cold to get inside of the building that you're going to play in. That's just ridiculous in and of itself.
Yeah, it's a different situation, and we've had every one of our games have been really tight there. You know, I mean, we've been there 3 other times, and we've been, down to the wire pretty much every game. And we knew that, they'd been off since Saturday. And, they had a lot of time off, and they'd struggled a little bit. They've lost several games in a row. We knew they were going to give us their best effort and coming out. And we just didn't respond. I mean, I think that, if we come out and play and just, get after them the way that I know we can get after them, it'd been a different thing. But they out-hustled us, Defensive rebounding was just, it wasn't very good. And when you give a team second, third chances, you're not going to have much of a chance.
You know me, I like to clap back when I hear people talking about us, and I had the misfortune of having to ride the elevator back up with the equipment after the game with some of their players. And as we're waiting on the elevator, they were like, "We are so back. We're back. We're back. We're back." I want to say, ladies, y'all still aren't even 500 in the league yet. How are you back?
Yeah,
but they beat us, so I couldn't say anything, just had to take it. And it is what it is. But, hey, maybe we'll face them in the conference tournament. We'll be able to knock them off there in Evansville.
Yeah, that's what I told the girls today. I mean, it's a tough place to play, a tough road, tough road thing for us. 4 in a row, and then plus having to deal with all this snow. I knew it was going to be a tough stretch. And, tomorrow we just got to refocus and go out there and give our best effort against Martin.
Let's talk about the game with Martin, the UT Martin Skyhawks. They are up next. The game's going to tip off at 5:30. Right here on Buzz 2, so you can tune in and listen to that. I'll have the pregame at 5:15. Going to do it a little different. Coaches have their own philosophies about how to handle things, and you decided let's bring the ladies back, let them sleep in their own bed Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Get on the bus tomorrow after a quick shoot-around inside of the Jack Stevens Center. They're going to sleep on the bus anyway, so let them sleep on the drive up, get off the bus. Kind of old yellow dog days, if you will, back when you were playing high school ball. You get off and you go play.
Yeah, I thought that was the best way to handle this just because, if we would have stayed on the road and, spent the night up there, I mean, you got 3 days in the hotel room just sitting around and felt like, our girls needed to, get back to their, normal routines. And we can get up tomorrow. We'll do shoot-around at 9:30 in the morning and get on the bus at 11 and go up there and get there, a couple hours before the game and let them shoot a little bit and get used to it, and then we'll go out and play.
Give them plenty of time to stretch those legs and everything.
Yep.
I like rolling the ball out and just going. And Kevin McMillan, he's got a good ball club. They had a 4-game winning streak going in to Western Illinois, and Western Illinois, who's leading the league right now, took them down on Saturday.
Yeah, they struggled, like a lot of teams are going to against Western Illinois, but they got a good team, and of course, this is a big game for them. Coming back, you got to protect your home floor, so we got to go up there and be ready to play.
You said if you could go 2-2 on this 4-game road stretch, you would be a happy camper. That objective is still out there. You still have a chance to go 2-2.
Yeah, we still have a chance. So this is a big game, and we need to come out and and do the things that give ourselves a chance. That's what you got to have yourself in position to win the game, and just like we did in Tennessee State, we got to give ourselves a chance, and then go out and try to get it done.
Playing a team in UT Martin, they have some players from the state of Arkansas on their roster. Do you think that they kind of get up for a game against a school from the state that they are from?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of been crazy. I mean, I think we've won the last 3 years that they've been in the conference. We've won all the games at their place.
Right.
And then I think they've won every one but one here in Little Rock, and that we won it on a last-second shot at half court at Simmons Bank Arena when they had the flood in the arena. So it's sort of been a crazy series, but definitely there's a little rival there because they do have some Arkansas players.
I remember that game well. Tia Harvey heaved it from, beyond half court, I believe. Joe Foley and Kevin McMillan started laughing when the shot went in. They're good buddies. Kevin McMillan, been there 17 years at UT Martin, had never left.
Yeah, I mean, he does a great job. I mean, they're going to run a lot of stuff. They're going to play a lot of different defenses, so they make it tough on you to prepare.
Well, we've got more to talk about besides just the UT Martin game. We've got 2 games at the Jack Stevens Center this weekend, starting on Thursday with Lindenwood, followed up with SIUE on Saturday. We'll get to that after this. Stay with us. It's Trojan Talk live from Waldo's.
Miss, Your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
The future is not about a bond reaching maturity. The future is what my grandfather worked for. It's what my father carried on. It's my responsibility today. The future is my son's tomorrow. At the Stevens Private Client Group, we believe that our strength builds success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stevens, member NYSE, SIPC.
I'm Dr. Lowry Barnes. When it comes to orthopedic care, there's no place like the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. We built this hospital just for you, with state-of-the-art surgical suites, advanced technology, and the state's largest group of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons. It's the best place in Arkansas to get you moving again. And if you need urgent orthopedic care, UAMS Ortho Now is right here for you at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, where motion lives and service leads.
Need a power boost after a serious workout? Stick with the original recovery drink. Highland Dairy's chocolate milk contains 13 essential nutrients, including protein and electrolytes, helping you build muscle and hydrate better than water. Our Chocolicious milk is perfect for building healthy bones in little ones and maintaining bone health in adults. It's chocolate milk with no artificial growth hormones and is locally made, so you know you're getting the best for your body. Highland, locally made, naturally delicious.
Welcome back to Waldo's Chicken and Beer here in Breckenridge Village off of 430 and Rodney Parham in West Little Rock. Steve Weedor, Trey Schaap. It's Trojan Talk. We're here every Monday. We'll be back here next Monday. Hopefully talking about 3 straight wins by your Little Rock Trojans. It's going to start tomorrow in Martin, Tennessee. The Trojans take on the Skyhawks of UT Martin, a makeup game. And then we come back home and we take on Lindenwood on Thursday night. That game will tip at 5 o'clock. Lindenwood earlier this season beat us 71-43, a much closer game than what the score indicated. Although they did come out and just blitz us early, but then the first quarter, I think they put 31 on us. But after that, it was a tight ball game. I think we were about a 3-point game through the second through the fourth periods with them.
Second half, I think we won it by 4 or 5 points. So, we feel pretty good about, how we match up with them. They just came out and just really got after us that first quarter, and we got to definitely be ready for that on Thursday.
What was the point of emphasis today? And I know you gave the ladies yesterday off. You have to give them a day off a week from practice and everything now that they're back in school. So you gave them yesterday off. You can't really do a whole lot in practice this week because you've got a game after every practice.
Yeah, it makes it a little tougher, but we concentrated on us today. We got back to, playing some of our defensive drills and things like that we can, use tomorrow. And we're going to use, Thursday and Saturday in all of our games. So I think the girls really enjoyed it today. We got down and, we got to work on our man-to-man defense fundamentals and playing a little bit of our motion, and I think that's what you have to do. And try to, not do too much today. We can't take their legs away from them today and then be ready for that long trip tomorrow. What's the status on Naomi Smitherman? She went and got an MRI. We're waiting on that today to sort of see how much the damage was with her ligaments in her ankle, but we'll find out in the next couple of days, where she's at. I think on the bus she kind of said that she came down on someone's foot. Yeah, she came down on somebody's foot and just twisted it to the outside. Yeah, that's painful. I know that she was in a lot of pain when she was coming off the court. I know that you went over there and saw her. And what even made it more difficult and more painful, I guess, as a fan watching the game is her family was there. Yeah, they're from Birmingham, Alabama. They were there for the Tennessee State game, got to see her. They went out and had some fun on Thursday night after the game, and then Saturday they were there, and I saw her mom come down and talk to her when she was on the bench. Yeah, it makes it tough. I mean, she's a senior, and so, this is a tough spot for her to be in here at the end of the season. But, she'll work through it. I mean, she's a good girl, and she definitely has a good future ahead of her.
When you had to go to the bench with Salgado to give her some breathing minutes, some time to get away and kind of recharge the batteries, you went with Taylor Coxford, and you also put in Lydia Belmonte Hurtado some, and I thought they played decent basketball for you.
Yeah, I think that was a real good, situation for us. And, Taylor's coming in. She'd been hurt a little bit, going into the Christmas break and coming back, and she's getting herself going pretty good. So I think she'll be able to come in there and give us some good minutes.
When you look at the matchup with Tennessee, with UT Martin, coming off of the Tennessee State and Tennessee Tech game, how do you feel like you match up with UT Martin?
Oh, I think we match up well. I mean, they're a team that can score. I mean, they just run so much stuff, and we got to be at our best on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, they're going to throw different defenses at us, and we got to be ready for that. And I think we will. I think we got an opportunity to go down there and play one of our better games.
They like to press a little bit. They throw a 1-3-1 at you at times, and the 2-3 zone as well.
Boxing one, dime. I mean, they do everything. They're just going to, try to throw a lot of different things at you, and we got to be ready to attack whatever they do. Defensively,
does it start with trying to stop Kinley McCarn and not let her just explode on you?
Yeah, I mean, she's had one 40-point game this year, and definitely is a key factor. So we can't let her get going and do her normal things.
You've been here for this. You're the head coach now, but you were an assistant coach. You were a graduate assistant, volunteer graduate assistant, I believe, for Coach Joe Foley before he decided, okay, I'm actually going to pay you now to help me coach and build this program. Nice of him to do that.
Oh, yeah.
What does Joe Foley mean to Steve Weedor?
I mean, he's everything. He just, he gave me an opportunity. I knew, that I wanted to try to get involved with coaching college basketball. I knew that was something, and I always knew that, hey, you got to start from the bottom and work your way up, and he gave me that opportunity, and, I just enjoyed every minute of, getting the opportunity to coach with him and, and having that ability to come in here and, the first year when we first got here at Little Rock and just build this program from the ground up, it was a special time, out there on the recruiting trail and, just teaching our girls, what we're all about and motion offense and things like that. I mean, it was just a great opportunity to, get to work with somebody like that. And, I enjoyed every minute of it.
And then he let you leave and go coach your daughters in high school. You went to Russellville.
Yep, got to do that.
Coached there for a little while. And then he said, okay, come back. You're done coaching high school ball. It's time to come back and help me.
Yeah, that was a time in my life where I got the opportunity to do that and wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. And then, I just had so much fun here before, and, they had a spot open and I got to come back, and, we went to the NCAA tournament a couple more times. So it was, a great experience.
Did you learn any of his courtside manner?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to see a lot of that. He's very special, and, he knows the game so well, and just, being able to watch what he does, gave me the best opportunity I could to be the best coach I could be.
When you look and you walk out every game and you see his name on the court, it's kind of special, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because where we I remember playing over there in
the field house.
In the field house and building the Jack Stevens Center and getting, to come over there and moving our stuff. I'll never will forget the day we moved all our stuff in over there. I mean, you knew things were going to be different then. It gave us an opportunity to compete at the highest level.
To see him going into the Hall of Fame, I'm going to wait to tell you how many Halls of Fames that he is in when he gets up here tonight, but to see him being recognized for this, not only just having his name on the court, but now being a part of the Little Rock Athletics Hall of Fame, what do you think that means?
Oh, I think it's, he built this program. We had to do a lot of things to get it done, but, him getting elected to the Hall of Fame is definitely a special moment for our program.
All right, Coach, good luck. We'll see you on the bus tomorrow as we head to Martin, Tennessee.
Thank you, Trey.
All right, UT Martin up tomorrow. We'll be joined by Dr. Mel Colazzo. He's going into the Hall of Fame on Friday. Right after this, it's Trojan Talk live from Waldo's Chicken and Beer.
Strength is measured not by the number of accounts. Strength is placing value on relationships. It's having the vision and the guts to invest in growth. It's the commitment to responsibly manage your money. At Stephens, we believe that our strengths build success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stephens, member NYSE, SIPC.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
And may I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Game Time Wraps, a company whose roots are firmly planted in Arkansas but has worldwide vision, is your source for vehicle and architectural graphics and is a leader in sports flooring, serving customers across the country. Game Time Wraps does everything from their home base right here in Central Arkansas. Call them today at 501-771-9727 or visit their website at GameTimeWraps.com.
Arkansas Roundballers Big Joe Klein and Pat Bradley pontificate on Bet Saracen.
People ask me, what do basketball players know about football? What say you, Joe?
I explained that anyone can run up and down a grass field with a screwy-shaped ball, but it takes finesse to strategically launch a basketball from long distances at an 18-inch diameter steel hoop.
Dang, Joe, you sure are smart.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to Trojan Talk here at Waldo's Chicken and Beer in West Little Rock off of 430 and Rodney Perriman, the Breckenridge Village Shopping Center, joined by Dr. Mel Collazo now, an inductee into the 2026 Little Rock Athletics Hall of Fame. Dr. Collazo, thanks for joining us. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. This is another exciting time in my life, and I owe it to a lot of good people. And Trey, I appreciate the great introduction that you gave me. That makes me feel good and makes me sound a lot better than I am.
Well, no. I've read your bio. I mean, you're pretty good. In only 2 years at Little Rock, and now you're in the Hall of Fame. And first of all, how did you get to Little Rock?
Well, there was a group of people that called me. And it wasn't one of the universities. A group of people called me and said they knew I was probably going to sign with either Florida State or with the University of Texas. And me and my doubles partner from Sweden, a guy named Paul Costin, who I love, we said, hey, this offer's too good to be true. And I can't go through the whole offer with you, but
Statute of limitations is over.
I said, well, would you put that in writing? And they said, no, but both Florida State and University of Texas do it. So let's see if we can get you here. And so we came up for a visit, and we just absolutely loved it. We loved the people. We loved the atmosphere. And there was a wonderful coach here, Larry Walton. We just showed up on his doorstep, and at that time, the team wasn't very strong. And, of course, Paul and I, we'd even played some professional tournaments as amateurs at that time. So, anyway, it was a good thing for all of us. And there was a guy that I can thank almost forever who was a big mentor in my life is Sheffield Nelson. And he helped me along the way, and Nancy Williams, and, of course, Terry Condor Johnson, just some really good people that have really helped back me. And so I appreciate that. Anytime
a school in Arkansas can beat the University of Texas for a player, I think everybody's happy.
Absolutely, because they were both in the Southwest Conference back
then. That's right. That's
pretty tough conference.
Yeah, so when you arrived on campus, what was it like to be a part of this team and to be a Trojan? What did it mean to you?
Well, we didn't know that much about it, and people were kind of saying, you're going to Arkansas? There's no tennis in Arkansas, is there? But I tried to describe, and it's hard to describe how wonderful Arkansas is if you haven't been here and you haven't met the people. But like I've told people before, you cut me and I bleed Arkansas red, and it's home for me, and we have loved it here. My family has loved it here, and I couldn't have been led by a lot more people that have surrounded me and pushed me forward in my journey.
You talked about the coach and the match. What were the matches like when you were playing for the Trojans? And did you start to, you guys started playing, you started winning. Did you get more people to come watch?
Yes. Well, it was really good because the athletic director at the time was Happy Mahfouz. I don't know if you remember him, but
I've heard the name.
He loved tennis, and I actually signed up for one of his classes. I was a pre-dental student, but I signed up for one of his classes, which was basic tennis, and I got out there, and then he found out that I could play, and so he said, "You're going to help me teach the class." I said, "Great, let's do it." And so I got to be friends with him, and then he'd come to all the matches, and he'd always bring other people to the matches. And back then we didn't have that tough of a schedule, so we beat most everybody pretty soundly of the schools that were around us here in the South. So, but Larry Walton was a real big force in my life at that point, and we started getting more and more people to come to watch tennis, which was great.
You are a member of the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. I see the jacket on. What does that mean?
It's a real honor. My first one was getting into the Arkansas Tennis Hall of Fame, which was a big honor. And I thought, well, that's it. That's pretty good for this old man. And then the next thing, being inducted last year with some really good people. There's 2 Dallas Cowboys. Clint Sterner got in, Felix Jones got in, and me, and some wonderful people. I can't even tell you all of them. Jack O'Keefe got in as a golfer. And just for me to share the stage with such honorable people, not only great athletes, but just great people, makes me feel good. Like maybe I'm okay,
Yeah.
And I've always thought, well, my philosophy was, try to be a better man today and even be a better man the next day, and I've tried to succeed at that. Not always successful, but I'm glad to share the stage with those people that have gotten in the Hall of Fames, and really, especially, this means a lot more to me than some of those other things, and I'll tell you why in just a few minutes, maybe.
I was going to ask, what was your reaction when you got the call or the email or the notice that you were going into the Little Rock Trojans Hall of Fame? Well,
first of all, very surprised, very honored. I was very honored, even more so, that Frank Cuervo, the athletic director, the wonderful athletic director, called me personally. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow, this is really great. And the thing that means so much with me about the Trojan athletics is that, all the good things that have happened, tennis has given me the opportunity, and so did you. ULR gave me the opportunity to get a good education. First of all, it gave me the opportunity to expand my thinking, to be strategic on the tennis courts, and I got to do a lot of traveling. And probably the best thing that it brought me was that little blonde lady sitting over there that I met 46 years ago. And
yeah, we'll clap to that.
And we're celebrating our 43rd year anniversary, and for her to put up with me all these years, and I mean that in a good way, because but she always keeps me in my place. I love her to death. I couldn't live without her, and she puts me in my place. So when I got into the Sports Hall of Fame last year, she says, "Now tonight you can be the hero, but when you get back home, you're going to be the zero again." And I said, "Well, hold on a second. At least let me have 2 or 3 days."
Right,
said,
right.
Okay,
let me celebrate for a while, like a full weekend maybe.
Yeah. And then I got home, and what she told me was, we went out that next night, and some people were congratulating me, and I said, thank you. And it was such a great honor. And I said, isn't this nice? Oh, somebody said, isn't it nice that you're married to such a good head of the family? Without missing a beat, she says, Well, he is the head of the family, but I'm the neck, and I tell him where to move his head, up or down or this way or this way. So I said, okay, that is enough. So but I am grateful to her, and so UALR has done so much for me. I appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more with Dr. Mel Collazo, an inductee into the Trojan Athletics Hall of Fame, coming up on Friday. More Trojan Talk live at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Stay with us.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
At Stevens, our philosophy is to invest every dollar as if it were our own, to seize opportunity, to anticipate rather than react, to deliver constant focus in an ever-changing world, and to pursue the objectives of our clients in order to help them reach their financial goals. A proven history of helping companies and individuals. Stevens, member NYSE SIPC.
Need a simple breakfast, lunch, or dinner for your family, team, or business? Proud sponsor and local owner-operator A.J. Roller's Chick-fil-A restaurant at Markham University has you covered. From Chick-fil-A nuggets in mini trays, mac and cheese trays, to chocolate chunk cookie and chocolate fudge brownie trays. Order through the Chick-fil-A app or call the store. A.J.'s team will have breakfast, lunch, or dinner ready for you and your team in no time. And don't forget to pick up a gallon of their famous freshly made tea or freshly squeezed lemonade.
The Trojans have been dominating in the paint, but does it guarantee a win? We'll see, Peter.
Like how playing the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is a guaranteed win for students.
Huh?
Every ticket you buy in Arkansas funds scholarships. And since 2009, they've raised more than $1.5 billion for Arkansas students.
Wow. So no matter the score, that's a win for students. Back to the game.
That's right, folks. Playing the lottery is a big win for students and could be for you, too. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Welcome back to Trojan Talk live at Waldo's Chicken and Beer out here in West Little Rock, the Breckenridge Village Shopping Center. Glad everybody could get out tonight. Hopefully we'll see you here on next Monday night as we hopefully talk about some big Trojan victories over UT Martin tomorrow night, Lindenwood on Thursday, and SIU East, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville on Saturday. Sandwiched in between Thursday and Saturday is the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. You can still get tickets to it. It is a ticketed event inside of the Jack Stevens Center on Joe Foley Court. We hope to see you there. And one of the inductees, Dr. Mel Collazo, will be going in. I see this big ring on your hand. Is that for the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame?
It is. It gets a lot of questions. I told my wife I'd wear it for a month, every day for a month, and she says, no, you're wearing it every day for a year, and probably even longer when there's an important event. I said, okay. I'm not a jewelry kind of guy, but anyway, I said, okay, I'll do it.
So people can see that on Friday night when they go to the Jack Stevens Center.
Absolutely.
How about that?
I will wear it. Yeah,
okay,
It makes me proud. And by the way, Trey, I saw Frank Cuervo walk in again. Thanks to Frank and all he does, and also to Dan Crowley and Noah and also Nate. You guys are terrific. I'll see you all out there, and thank you so much for what you do. And you've made this so easy, and with all of your staff and the people who voted me in, I'm just
we don't need
thrilled.
to give them too many attaboys.
Yeah,
they're going to get the big head if we keep that up. I mean, especially Dan over there. I mean, he's having enough chicken over there here at Waldo's. You know, no, they do a great job. They do a great job. I want to talk a little tennis with you. I watched a little bit of the Australian Open. My goodness, can those guys play?
I tell you, there were some absolutely wonderful matches. I stayed up all night, except for one night I slept a little bit on a nap, and then I came back up. These matches, these athletes are unbelievable. And, you know, those matches, I don't know how they've gotten to be so good. They weren't like that back in my day.
I was going to say, could you chase down some of those shots that they were chasing down?
I could chase down maybe one, and I'd be tired. And I'm just so impressed. You know, it's one of those things. You know, times have changed, rackets have changed, strings have changed, workouts have changed. But you know, I always think of the fact that it's a lot of hard work to get to where you want to be, but inside every tennis player or every great athlete, there's a better one. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that hard work, if you don't climb the mountain, you're never going to see the view. And so I think to myself, okay, I've done this. Now, it's not about all the, and I'm to an age now, when I turned 71, I started thinking about my life again. And I said to myself that it's not really about all those trophies I see in my house and all those ones that my wife has thrown away and put in old boxes and not even labeled the boxes. And it's not about all that. You know, what we do as athletes in our sport, it's about who we've become, mm-hmm. and what athletics has done for us, not only socially, physically, all those different things for us, and how we've handled that journey. And I think that is so important, because in the world, and not to get too political, but in the world we live in now, there's so much stuff going on, and it's not all good, and I don't expect it to be all good. But when we get together for an athletic event, we have fun. And, you know, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I like winning.
Yeah.
But when you lose, I think you learn even more than when you win sometimes. And so the journey for athletes, I think, is really important, because we really are responsible for the next generation that follows us.
When you think back over your time at Little Rock, and do you have any regrets? Is there a match that stands out that you're like, if I would have done this, the outcome would have been different, or if I wouldn't have done this, then we might not have won a particular match?
Absolutely. Well, this you'll like, because it relates to the Australian Open. I was in the finals of, it was a doubles match. I was in the finals of the Texas State Junior Doubles Championship. And we were playing against two guys. One of them got to the finals of the Australian Open 2 years or 3 years after I played him in his doubles match. He got to the finals 2 years in a row and lost in the finals.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, in the Texas State Doubles Championship, we were in the finals. We split sets. We went down to the third set tiebreaker. It was 4-all in the tiebreaker. So whoever won the next point won the match and won the Texas State title. And my partner had been the best player on the court that day. And by far, he played so wonderful. And anyway, he missed this easy shot at overhead. He missed the easiest shot, and I couldn't be mad at him. He outplayed everybody else the whole time. And I do remember, only time I've really ever thrown my racket, I threw it up, and it landed in a tree over on the side of the fence. And I was real embarrassed when we went for the trophy presentation. A little boy that was about 10 years old said, "Mister," and I was only 18 at the time, said, "Mister, here's your racket." He had climbed the tree, brought my racket. Never did I throw a racket again, because I was so embarrassed at what I did. And I thought, well, I got my rackets for free. I wasn't worried about it.
I was going to say, yeah, you could have given it to him.
Yeah, I tried to give it to him. He says, "No, sir, it's yours." I was like, wow, you know. I would have paid him some money, but I didn't have any money when I was 18
young man,
years
though.
old.
He was raised well.
That was probably my worst, and well, it was my most disappointing loss, because that would have been really good on my record one day, you know, to beat an Australian Open finalist.
No doubt.
But again, my best win, I'll tell you, best win I've ever had is, like I said, that little girl there I've been married to for 43 years. So that was my best win.
I would say you aced that one.
Well, hey, there you go. There you go.
How about that? Hey, see, I used a tennis term. That was good, right?
I love that. Hey, there you go. There you go.
Speaking of aces,
yes,
Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, my gosh.
Whew.
I tell you what, both he and Sinner are just amazing. Not only amazing athletes, amazing people. And I think that's what schools like UAL are, and the Department of Athletics, that's what we want to do. We want to mold good people through athletics. And athletics, all these athletes, sports plays a big part of their lives. But a lot of them won't go on into pro sports. They're just not going to be good enough. They might be good at a college level, but the way things are being done for Little Rock athletics is these kids are learning how to live life, how to behave in life, and I'm hoping that they will continue to inspire the generations after them, like I said previously. And so I found that it helped to mold who I am. In fact, one of the funniest things, I'm still.
You're good. Real quick.
I'm still friends with my organic chemistry professor from 48 years ago.
Oh, wow.
We still get together.
Wow.
Who's friends with their organic chemistry professor?
Not many. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday night.
Thank you, Trey.
Dr. Mel Colozo. Joe Foley coming up next. Stay with us.
The future is not about a bond reaching maturity. The future is what my grandfather worked for. It's what my father carried on. It's my responsibility today. The future is my son's tomorrow. At the Stevens Private Client Group, we believe that our strength builds success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stevens, member NYSE, SIPC.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Did you know you can experience unlimited access to ArkansasOnline.com and premium sports content? That's right. Get news anytime, anywhere, including daily and breaking email newsletters sent directly to your inbox. Get access to archives, photo galleries, event calendars, and much more. Take advantage of a digital subscription today at ArkansasOnline.com and stay connected to the most reliable, up-to-date news anytime, anywhere.
I'm Dr. Lowry Barnes. When it comes to orthopedic care, there's no place like the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. We built this hospital just for you, with state-of-the-art surgical suites, advanced technology, and the state's largest group of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons. It's the best place in Arkansas to get you moving again. And if you need urgent orthopedic care, UAMS Ortho Now is right here for you at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, where motion lives and service leads.
Welcome back inside of Waldo's Chicken and Beer here in West Little Rock, the Breckenridge Village Shopping Center, joined by another Hall of Famer. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have?
Joe Foley joins us here at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Yeah.
Tried to get Rick Edwards to come up here and do this.
Yeah, Rick Edwards would not come up and talk to you. I appreciate it. All right, Damon, you can slide that fader down. Appreciate it. Coach, when you found out you were going into the Little Rock Athletics Hall of Fame, what was your reaction?
Man, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I mean, really. I mean, to be able to be at a place like Little Rock and coach for 20 years and go through all the experiences I had there, I mean, you know, it couldn't be anything better. It's just, you know, Frank asked me to do this, and it's just unreal.
Well, your name's on the court, so everybody sees that when it's on television. Now it's prominently displayed on the court right above the state of Arkansas, kind of close to where you grew up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think the Y in Foley might actually touch Alpena.
Touch Alpena.
Wouldn't that be something if we were able to figure that out? But no, I mean, you came at a time when Little Rock basketball was nothing. I mean, the program had been revived, and Chris Peterson came to you and sold you on a vision.
Chris stayed with me for nobody really knows that story, but Chris stayed with me for a year because I kept turning him down. You know, I thought, I'm not going to leave, you know, Arkansas Tech winning national championships to go down there, and they have no place to play. And he told me they were going to build that facility, and all the things that would go with it. And every time I come up with an excuse, he said, I can take care of that. And he did. And I'll never forget it. And, thank God everything went like it did.
The Jack Stevens Center celebrating 20 years of it this season. What does that place mean to Little Rock basketball?
It built our program. Without that, we would have had no chance. And without that, I wouldn't have been here because I wasn't going to come to coach in that field house, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But, that facility, at that time, that was what recruiting was all about, was your facilities. If you had great facilities and you could give a kid a chance to win and a chance to get a good education, you could recruit practically anybody back then, and that's what we did. We had the facility to go with it. We had a good, fortunately I had a pretty good record, so I could kind of sell them on that. And in my education, telling them that, look, we're going to get you, I promise your daughter's going to get an education, because I never had a kid play for me for 4 years that didn't get their education. That was important.
I was going to bring that up at some point, but the fact that you had a 100% graduation rate of any athlete that played for you for 4 years, I think that's phenomenal.
We had a purpose, and I talk to these kids that say I'm talking to so and so and so and so, but if I go there, I can't get a nursing degree, I can't get a doctor's degree. I'll have to wait until I get through playing. I said, look, I want you to get the degree that you want. I want you to get a degree that you want for the rest of your life, and you can do what what you want in your heart, what you want to do, because he said earlier that that 99% of these kids are not going to play pro basketball or go to pro. And so it was important for me to know after they were through playing for us that 5-10 years from now I could say, hey, I coached the doctor. I've got doctors, I've got lawyers, I've got people that played for me that are more successful than I am and help people a lot more than I have, and that's what it was all about.
Well, your coaching philosophy is motion, 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 defense, defense, defense. If you don't play defense for me, you're not going to play.
You can miss a shot and stay on the floor, but you can miss an assignment on defense and stay on the floor.
Yeah, I've seen that in person. When you came in, there was a player named Alicia Cash that was part of the program. You came in, she stayed with you, and you rewarded her, and she's still here coaching.
Well, you can take Alicia as an example of the motion offense. Alicia was a person that was not really a physical type player that could play on the block, even though she was 6'1", 6'2", and they'd kind of done that. And we started moving her around, and all of a sudden she became the first all-conference player from there. And because we moved her all over the floor and used all of her abilities, and the same thing with Chas. Chas comes in, she's scoring 10 points a game in high school. In her junior year, she's the fourth leading scorer in the country, 24. Because she's playing everywhere on the floor. She gets drafted by the WNBA. And that's what I loved about motion offense, was it allowed a player to use their abilities. And, I always told kids that, you're wanting to do this, you're wanting to become that. And I wanted all my players to be complete players and learn the game. And I think that's what motion teaches is, hey, I understand what they do inside. I understand what they do. And, when you're running plays, a lot of times you don't get that understanding of what it takes to do certain things. And when you get great players like Taylor Galt going into the Hall of Fame, Chas, it gives them the ability to be anywhere on the floor, use all their talents, and nobody knows where they're going to be at any particular time. And I think that's the reason they succeeded so well.
Let's talk about Chastity Reed for a second. Second year with Coach Weedor back at Little Rock. Did you ever think she'd be a coach?
Yes. Yeah, people have asked me that question. I told Chas when she was playing for me, I said, Chas, you may do other things for a while, but I guarantee you'll end up coaching.
But wait a second. When was that you told her that? Her senior year, not her freshman year?
No. I didn't talk to her freshman year.
She was hard to get along. You two didn't mesh at the beginning.
Well, Chas, you got to understand Chas and the things that she's done and with her and had to go through in her life. And I respect the heck out of that young lady. She's a great young lady, and she's helping these kids tremendously. And all of her experiences can do nothing but help other people. And that's what I like seeing, is she's back in and helping all these young kids understand what life's all about. And Chas went through a lot, but there's no kid that I would rather coach. And Taylor's kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of that same mold. And, I always heard John Wooden talk about, I'd rather have a kid with a little spirit as though somebody, they got spirit.
They got a lot of spirit. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Another player, you've had several that have gone on and coached and done other things as well. But another one that is back in her first year as an assistant coach is Kim Sitzman.
Well, Kim was a coach on the floor. Kim, she controlled what happened on the floor. She controlled Chas when she was on the floor. Only player that could do that. And, Kim, I have a lot of respect for Kim because she was that type person that she'd stand up. She wasn't going to back away from anybody. And as you well know, she let Georgia Tech know real quick when we beat their tails in the NCAA tournament, But Kim was a competitor, and getting to coach kids. How how lucky can a coach be, coach kids like I've got to coach? So, I sit back and think about all those things now.
We're going to talk about the NCAA tournament wins. When we come back, we're going to talk about getting to the NCAA tournament, how difficult that is for a mid-major. We're also going to talk about the fact that Little Rock hosted an NCAA first-round matchup as well. Deladon coming into the Jack. It's more when we come back to Waldo's Chicken and Beer live here on Trojan Talk. Stay with us.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
At Stevens, our philosophy is to invest every dollar as if it were our own, to seize opportunity, to anticipate rather than react, to deliver constant focus in an ever-changing world, and to pursue the objectives of our clients in order to help them reach their financial goals. A proven history of helping companies and individuals. Stevens, member NYSE SIPC.
Need a power boost after a serious workout? Stick with the original recovery drink. Highland Dairy's chocolate milk contains 13 essential nutrients, including protein and electrolytes, helping you build muscle and hydrate better than water. Our Chocolicious milk is perfect for building healthy bones in little ones and maintaining bone health in adults. It's chocolate milk with no artificial growth hormones, and it's locally made, so you know you're getting the best for your body. Highland, locally made, naturally delicious.
Game Time Wraps, a company whose roots are firmly planted in Arkansas but has worldwide vision, is your source for vehicle and architectural graphics and is a leader in sports flooring, serving customers across the country. Game Time Wraps does everything from their home base right here in Central Arkansas. Call them today at 501-771-9727 or visit their website at GameTimeWraps.com.
Welcome back to Trojan Talk, live at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Trey Schaap, joined by Joe Foley, going into the Little Rock Trojans Athletic Hall of Fame on Friday evening. All right, Damon, pull that fader down. Appreciate you. Coach, first trip to the NCAA tournament, what was that like?
Oh, it's unbelievable. That's the reason I came to Little Rock was I wanted to be able to have the opportunity in my lifetime to say, hey, I coached in the NCAA tournament, and I thought, I knew it'd be fun, but it was unrealistic how great it was. It just the feeling, and then be able to go back more times, it just gave you that opportunity to kind of relax and just take it all in and say, to me, there's nothing like the NCAA tournament. That's what coaching is all about. You can have a so-so year, but you go to the NCAA tournament, it's like, it's like a whole different game. Your kids play at a different level. It's just a different level of basketball. The intensity, the enthusiasm. Your kids just get so psyched up. It's so much fun to be a part of that.
Let's talk about the win in Norman, Oklahoma. The 11 seed going up the 6th seed, Georgia Tech, and the winner got Oklahoma. And Georgia Tech didn't give you guys much respect.
Well, that was the whole key, is that they beat themselves because they said in the newspaper, somebody picked it up, and maybe you, I don't remember, somebody brought me the article, and they were talking about we shouldn't have to play Oklahoma on their home floor. That's not right. I put that all over the dressing room, and the rest of the week I didn't have to coach. I mean, you could tell our kids were fired up, and that's when we beat them. That's when Kim Sitzman run in there and said, "I bet they know where the hell Little Rock is now."
I bet they do too. Yeah, they knew about that.
That was the most fun I ever had. That was unbelievable.
How about Elena Deladon coming to play in the Jack Stevens Center?
I tell you what, that was to have the NCAA tournament on your own campus was unreal. I mean, I hated that we had to play Deladon, and she was everything she was built up to be, and we couldn't stop her. There was no way. But it was just, the build up to it, everything that went into getting that and having the NCAA tournament, all the people in Little Rock. still remember, and I have people stop me all the time. Hey, I came and I seen Della Dine. I said I did too.
yeah, she was something else. Let's talk about the trip to Arizona. You got to play your good buddy Gary Blair in the first round of the NCAA tournament out there in Tempe. Texas A&M, they were a 6 seed. Little Rock was an 11 seed. We fly out there, and lo and behold, we go to practice, and all of a sudden, Kenesha Cobbins rolls an ankle.
Oh, man, you talk about sick. Oh. I told Mike, I said, Mike, you're up the rest of the night. But I said, she's got to play.
Yeah, and Mike, the trainer, Mike.
Yeah, he's at Texas Tech now. And Mike was going to do anything. Mike was going to do anything it took to get a player out there. And I'm just sick, and because we're taking it pretty easy because, the game's the most important thing. And see that happen and thinking, okay, this is going to kill us, But Kenesha was one of those that she wasn't about to. It could have been broken. She was going to play.
Yeah, she was going to play.
Yeah.
Another thing out there, Gary Blair in the coaches' meeting with the NCAA was talking about the curtain of distraction out at Arizona State. And if you don't know about the curtain of distraction, I'm going to try and explain it to you real quick because we're on the radio. It's a curtain that sits behind your goal, the basket you're shooting at, in the second half. And they open the curtain right when you're about to shoot a free throw. They've had Michael Phelps behind that curtain before.
In a Speedo.
In a Speedo with all of his gold medals on. They've had Santa Claus. They had it when we were out there this year playing them. And Gary Blair was worried about the fact that if he had, when they were going to play Arizona State, they shouldn't be allowed to use the curtain of distraction.
Another it backfired on him again.
Yeah, they didn't get to play Arizona
State. And that was a great win. And it's still, I got the last straw on Gary Blair because I can always bring that game up and say, hey, look, I beat you. So, and we were great friends and we had a great time. And it's just one of those things in coaching that it just makes it all worthwhile.
And that was win number 700 for you. We brought you a cake after you were watching film. I think you were a little disturbed and upset that we broke up your film study to bring you a 700 victory cake.
You don't break up film for anything.
Well, and then, unfortunately, the next game, and Coach, I don't know if I've ever told you this stat, but that season, Little Rock women's basketball was undefeated when leading with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Against Arizona State, Little Rock was leading with 5 minutes to go. It was about 2-something on the clock, and the shot clock was winding down. It hits to about 2, and their player is like at the 28-foot mark right in front of me. She just throws it towards the basket.
Throws it up.
Hits off the glass and goes in for a three-pointer. And then we got some questionable calls down the stretch, and we don't make the Sweet 16.
No, the sickest feeling I ever had. That's the worst coaching feeling, and in coaching, the worst feeling I've ever had in coaching. Oh, by far. To know we were that close to getting to the Sweet 16, and like you say, a couple of questions, and you're going to get that on the road. And that's the bad thing about NCAA when you're playing at their place in that type of game. But, it's part of the breaks, and but our kids played so hard, and man, it was hard to walk out of there.
It was, but were able to get back to the NCAA tournament, able to win some conference championships, won the first conference championship of the Ohio Valley Conference, 17-1 that year, got a bad break in the conference tournament, but had some good teams.
Well, we had, that team was a very good team. That team could have done some damage, too, if we got on to the NCAA, and that's being in the conference for the first year, that's kind of hard because you don't know the other teams. And, we're always one that we really try to scout a lot and know what each team's going to do. So we're having to learn on the run. And it was a lot of fun changing and doing that. But I still miss the Sun Belt. I enjoyed the Sun Belt Conference very much. But, it is what it is, but to go in and win it your first time and almost go undefeated was a pretty good feeling.
Almost went undefeated. You're right. What does it mean to you that you're going to be going in with one of your star players in Taylor Galt into the Little Rock Athletics Hall of Fame?
Oh, that's it's again, you couldn't ask for anything better because it's because of her and other players like her that I'm going into the Hall of Fame. Without Taylor and without Chas and people like that, I wouldn't be sitting here. And so I respect what they did and how they did it because I didn't score a basket, I didn't get a rebound. They did all those things.
You coached their tails off though. I've witnessed it. You'd rather go practice than play a game.
I'd much rather practice play any game. The games I didn't care for. I told the kids, I said games are all practices.
Yeah. Coach, congratulations. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Joe Foley, legend, the GOAT of Little Rock women's basketball. Don't forget, basketball tomorrow night right here on Buzz 2, and then we'll see you on Thursday at the Jack Stevens Center, and next Monday right here for Trojan Talk at Waldo's Chicken and Beer.
Thanks for listening to Trojan Talk, live from Waldo's Chicken and Beer. This broadcast was brought to you by Dillard's, Stevens, and Pepsi.